A home for nearly 50 years, but their cooking hadn't quite found a home there. Special correspondent Megan Thompson tells us about a chef who seems to be changing that.
So this is the rice in here. It's our big rice steamer, and whew, that is hot. To be completely honest, I never wanted to do this. I tried my hardest to get out of it.
Why?
In our culture, in the old school way of looking at it, is like to be a cook meant like you would just be, sloshing it in the back. You're dirty all the time.
Vang may have failed to avoid cooking for a living, but he's doing much more than getting dirty in the kitchen.
In the Hmong way of saying it is "lo na mo, come and eat."
The Minneapolis chef is at the forefront of introducing the Twin Cities and the nation to the food of the Hmong, an ethnic group from Southeast Asia.
We always say Hmong food consists of 4 elements: a meat, a rice, a vegetable, and a hot sauce.
Vang's Union Hmong Kitchen started in 2016 as a pop-up, then a food trailer outside a local cidery. Now it's a popular counter inside a trendy food hall. Vang also launches new menu concepts every few months at Hill Tribe, his kitchen and event space. He's been a James Beard Award finalist or semi-finalist for the last 2 years.
Right here we have our pork belly. We have our Hmong sausage with khao seng, which is our noodles, and then we have our purple sticky rice here. Because if everything is too flavorful, it's too big for you, the purple sticky rice helps balance everything out.
I've actually never had Hmong food, and this is my first time, and it's phenomenal.
In the cities with the largest Hmong population in the nation, Vang is hailed as the first to bring his native food to the masses. In April, he opened a stand at the Twins baseball stadium, and last summer, fans lined up for his booth at Minnesota's legendary State Fair, the first time Hmong food had been served at either place. Li Pao-xiang is the director of the Center for Hmong Studies at Concordia University in St. Paul.
I think that what's unique about Ye is the ability to communicate and to connect to younger generations, right? I mean, they've seen the Hmong people, but they've never been invited to the kitchen.
Our food has always been about people. Our cultural DNA, it's intricately woven into the foods that we eat. It tells our story.
That story begins around 5,000 years ago in China, where the Hmong originated. They're thought to be among the first in the world to cultivate rice and are known for their colorful dress and embroidery. Conflict eventually pushed the Hmong south into the mountains of Burma, Thailand, Vietnam, and Laos. It was in Laos during the Vietnam War that the CIA recruited the Hmong for covert missions.
Our task was to rescue American pilots who were shot down, to also engage the North Vietnamese in combat, preventing them from going down to the southern part of Laos and then going across to fight against the Americans in South Vietnam.
They painted this whole mural around this area.
The conflict is so central to the Hmong story that an expansive mural of Long Chang, a secret CIA airbase in Laos, covers a wall of the Hmong village market in St. Paul.
And actually, Long Chang is a place where my father, at a young age, him and his brothers, they joined up with the SGU, the Special Guerrilla Unit, and their missions were launched out of this area.
The conflict killed an estimated 30,000 to 40,000 Hmong soldiers, about a quarter of all Hmong men and boys in Laos. Tens of thousands of civilians also died during the war and after the American forces withdrew.
So after the United States pulled out in 1975, guess what? The Vietnamese came after us. So we fled to Thailand.
Ye of Vang's father led a group through the jungle and across the Mekong River to safety in Thailand. In 1984, Vang was born there inside a refugee camp. Many Hmong immigrated to Minnesota after the war, thanks to an active group of church-based aid organizations. Today, the state is home to close to 100,000 Hmong. Vang's family ended up next door in Wisconsin, where food was a way to maintain the Hmong culture.
Learning how to cook in a Hmong household is not an option. It's not like, hey, do I want to cook? No, it's like, no, you're going to cook.
We want all our children to learn to work with us, washing dishes, prepping vegetables, chopping meat together, making food together.
I taught you that when grilling, you need to season the meat very well and don't allow it to burn.
But Vang says as a child, he wasn't necessarily proud of his heritage.
I was always ashamed that my parents couldn't come to school for career day. Because my parents couldn't speak English, and as a kid, I was always very embarrassed.
Vang worked in restaurants to help pay the bills after college and launched his Hmong food trailer, but wasn't sure of its future. Then, in 2017, his father suffered a head injury.
Like my dad's, he's a warrior, right? He fought a war, he survived the odds, he got us to this country. If he dies on that bed, like his whole legacy goes with him. And so it changed for me. It was not about this telling the story of our people. It was the solidification of the legacy of mom and dad.
And so today, Vang uses his popular eateries to tell his parents' story.
Hmong sausage is something that my dad has taught us growing up. It's very aromatic. So it's lemongrass, ginger, garlic, shallots, fish sauce, Thai chilies. We won an award with this recipe, and I told my father about it, and he was just like, oh, really? That simple thing? Like, people like that?
And the hot sauce? It's his mom's famous recipe.
We have Mama Vang's hot sauce. It looks like that dark crimson paste.
Vang's parents even supply some of his ingredients, grown on their small farm north of St. Paul.
Every time that I taste his food, it's always something different.
The spicy red sauce, that thick paste, you can just dip it on anything. I could picture having it on ice cream and that being good.
I'm like, America!
But it's not just the food that's brought Vang success.
Nice to meet you, for sure.
It's also his sense of humor and big personality. Vang has a podcast about Hmong culture.
Manny, I love your tortas.
And he hosts 2 TV shows.
Barrel with Gia Vang.
He's kind of like a trailblazer, especially for the Hmong people. You know, we don't have a country to call our own. No one really understands our cuisine, and he's been able to introduce it to the world.
Chef, you really embody how we should celebrate our community. And
Vang's earned some high-profile fans, too, like Peggy Flanagan, the Lieutenant Governor of Minnesota, who stopped by a recent event celebrating Asian American Pacific Islander Heritage Month.
The Lieutenant Governor now.
Oh!
Yeah. Hi. This is my mom, Pang.
so nice to meet you.
Vang cooked all the food with his parents, of course.
Those egg rolls are mom's famous egg rolls. Ever since we were little kids, we would do egg roll sales. It came to a point where the health department at our little Wisconsin town came out and they're like, what's going on?
Vang's hoping to launch his first formal brick-and-mortar restaurant soon, calling it Vinai, after the refugee camp where he was born and where his parents first met. Embracing his heritage, no longer ashamed.
Fast forward that 30 years, I'm hoping that people would talk to me about my parents. 30 years later, I cannot not talk about them. So I say I've run so far, tried so hard to run from who I am that it becomes a circle to running to back to who you were meant to be.
For PBS News Weekend, I'm Megan Thompson in Minneapolis.